Hey guys, I'm genuinely so excited for this video. A lot of you have asked me for a Coraline video quite a few times now, and I think it's time. It's been a while since my last one, and I recently just watched Coraline, and something stood out to me that has never really stood out to me before, and I can't believe, how I've never seen this. But I want to talk about it, and I want to know your opinions as well. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the first thing I'd like to point out is this smaller conversation that Coraline has between her and her mother. Coraline exclaims how she wants things growing when her friends come to visit, and then she asks, "Isn't that why we moved here?" And then the mother says,
"Something like that. But then we had the accident."
It wasn't my fault you hit that truck.
I never said it was.
So this small little conversation gives us so many details about why they moved there. Coraline believes it to be something relating to gardening, and that seems to be the case because her mother says something like that. So that forces me to believe that they moved to Oregon for some kind of job opportunity. And I think that is proved later on in the movie.
You sure you won't come?
Don't fret, Charlie. They'll love the new catalog. At least they'll love my chapters.
But in this small little conversation, we also know that they got into some sort of car accident. And the mother kind of places the blame on Coraline. So we know that something relating to the car accident, Coraline had something to do with it. Maybe. Later on, shortly after that small little conversation, the mother brings attention to a gift YB left for Coraline. So the mother made sure that this gift got to Coraline. And that alone isn't weird or suspicious, but just keep that in mind. So after this conversation, Coraline goes to her father into his office, and the father pays little to no attention to Coraline, really.
Oh, this house is 150 years old.
Instead, he kind of tells her to go away and go discover what's in the house since it is 150 years old. So she does this, and in the process, she finds a little door that we now know is the portal to the other mother's dimension. But this would have never happened if the father just paid a little bit of attention to Coraline. So of course, she's found the door and she wants to know what's behind it. So she asks her mother to open this door, and her mother goes into the drawer full of keys, and she picks out the exact key that it is on the first try. So she knew exactly what key opened this door, which already seems a bit suspicious, don't you think? So she opens the door and she keeps it open. She doesn't lock it. And that's when, Coraline later on discovers the other world, and she has a little adventure in the other world and then comes back to the main world. And you know what I found that is really bizarre? Is that whenever this whole adventure happens in the other world the next day, we don't see this happen, but the other mother comes to a conclusion to the idea that she now has to go back, get the key, and lock the door. And she explains it through this.
Oh, I found some rat crap, and I thought you'd feel safer.
The dreams aren't dangerous.
But we also know that she put the key really high up, high enough so that Coraline couldn't reach it. Why is this? Why would she do that? No, truly, not just some dumb explanation. Truly, why would she do this? Now, after Coraline has managed to get the key and unlock it and go into the other world while her mother was gone, while her father was gone as well, notice how the other mother, the beldam, doesn't let Coraline go home after this. And the movie makes it seem as if it's because Coraline had said no to the button eyes, but I think it's for a different reason, or for both reasons. Now, these are just simple observations that I've came across, but let's get into the actual theory now. So we know that they got into a car crash right before this trip to Oregon. And there's one question that everybody's had about the beldam ever since the movie's release. Can the beldam tell the future? This question is brought up because the beldam creates the Coraline doll right before the movie's events. It's at night, and then the next day it's morning, and that's whenever they're moving in. And the beldam already knows what Coraline looks like. So can she tell the future?
A little me? That's weird.
What if she can look at the present in other places? What if it's not necessarily that she can tell the future, but more like she's been planning it before they even moved? What if she caused them to move? Let me explain. Perhaps this car crash was not caused by Coraline, but it was in fact caused by the beldam in some way. I think the beldam is kind of trapped in her own world, so she can't really escape. But you know who can? Her minions. She creates these things and she sends them out into the world. Like the rats, for example. The cat can also travel in and out of the dimension, and the dolls travel as well. And I think she is able to create these different types of human characters that we have not yet seen in the movie. Not really, but really we have already. You know how the beldam takes the eyes away from the children? And in my other videos, I've explained that she's taken the eyes out to reach their souls. Well, that stands true. But what if she doesn't waste these eyes and she uses them for her creations? Perhaps the beldam was in search for a kid who was very adventurous with a big soul and found Coraline. She found that she was an only child and very miserable, so that was her next victim. So what did she do? She caused the car crash to happen, made it look accidental. The parents, Coraline's real parents, passed away and got her creations to replace her parents. And the reason they don't have button eyes is because she used the eyes of the dead children. So, the other parents, not her biological parents, decided to move to Oregon because there was a job opportunity in Oregon. So they moved very, very far away into the Pink Palace, right where the beldam was. And the good thing about this move is that Coraline was now very, very far away from her own family. So if there was any trouble and Coraline needed help, her family wouldn't really be around. Certainly not her parents. They don't pay attention to her.
If the real Charlie Jones wants his pages edited, he better wrap them up ASAP.
So, there's a question you may be asking. If the parents are actually the beldam's minions, why don't they help her at the end of the movie? Well, as we know from the other YB and the other father, these characters have their own opinions, feelings, and emotions. They may regret their decision, and this is why the other mother does not let Coraline back into her world, because she knew that her own minions betrayed her. If she let Coraline back out, the other parents would not let Coraline back into her own dimension. And may I remind you that the beldam actually captures the parents of Coraline. And during this capture, I believe that the beldam fixed the parents. Fixed them in a way that they'd now obey the beldam. So now, at the end of the movie, the other parents are now trying to find a way to get YB and Coraline together to trap them both and trap them in the other world. This is also why the dead children tell Coraline that she's still in terrible danger.
You're in terrible danger, girl.
And this would explain everything that we know about the parents. Why they blame the car accident on Coraline. Why they don't pay attention to her. Why the mom doesn't lock the door on purpose. And why the mom made sure Coraline got the doll. So what do you think? Do you honestly believe that Coraline's parents aren't actually her parents? That they actually died in the car crash? I don't know. I really want to know your opinions and your theories. So let me know, comment them down below, and consider subscribing to my channel. Consider liking the video and commenting or sharing or whatever you want to do to help me and support me in this channel and my journey on YouTube. And I don't know. So thank you. And have a it.